Let's have a seat, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody. All right, welcome to our distinguished visitors, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Thank you for taking time off your busy schedule to attend this important event of the launching of the World Body Group. Thank you, thank you. I want to apologize on behalf of our chairman, Dr. Mohamed Sisse, our executive, and our members for the late start. As we all know, they say the black man time, but we need to make an improvement, especially us as professionals, us as practitioners working in the community. We need to start working on the timing of events. So on behalf of the chairman, I want to sincerely apologize to each and every member for the late start. So can I call on Mr. Mohamed Bangura MD to lead us with the Muslim prayer, please. Mr. MD, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Yeah, let's just get ready. We're coming to pray. Ya Allah, we're asking you this evening to grace this occasion. Ya Allah, whosoever is in need of anything, Ya Allah, provide for them. As we're here to discuss about well body, Ya Allah, give us shifa, Ya Allah. Ba'ada uzbillah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار اللهم لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب اللهم اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات والأحياء منكم والأموات إنك قريب مجيب دعوة يا رب العالمين سبحان ربك رب العزة وما يصفون وصلاة وسلام على جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين الفاتحة جاءنا
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
Thank you. At least this not Pulado or married. Oh, they get the imam there for car.
Look,
Giving lectures. Thank you, Mr. MD. That was very short and swift. Thank you very much. As we all know, we're from Sierra Leone. We're very much diverse. We practice both religion. So now I've got the pleasure to ask Mrs. Aminata Mansari to lead us in Christian prayer, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Let us pray. Father God, we thank you for this afternoon. Lord, we ask that you send the portion of blessing to each and every member that is here, that have put all these together for us to come and learn and listen to things that will benefit our health. We pray for all those who are on their way coming, Father God. We ask that you bring them safely. We ask that you send your angels to be amongst us.
Do you need Zainab?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm going to let me put Zainab. Zainab.
Whatever information we've been given, put into good practice and keep ourselves healthy and strong. Father God, we pray for each and every member of these associations represented here today. We ask that you put a blessing upon whatever they are trying to bring to us, so that it grows and flourishes for years to come. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Thank you very much. I think we'll try on the timing, because with two religious leaders, they don't make a very quick for me. Thank you very much. So yeah, I've been given this opportunity, this platform to introduce the two MCs for tonight. I think this is very daunting, but I'm going to give it my best. I'm going to start with the gentleman, one of the MCs. So a unique individual. He has been a practicing pharmacy for over 30 years with 25 years of operational, clinical, and management experience as a senior pharmacist. His professional experience taps on many areas of expertise, including practicing as an associate chief pharmacist at the Royal Berkshire NHS Foundation Trust in Reading. He's also a lead pharmacist in dermatology, general medicine, and ambulatory care in the UK. In addition, he's licensed pharmacy in the United States of Arizona in US, where he previously lived and worked for 5 years. This gentleman has passion for quality improvement in medicine and the implementation of digital technology to improve our society in service delivery. That includes the Wellbody Group. He's currently employed as the chief pharmacist at the and clinical director of medicine optimization at Buckinghamshire Healthcare NHS Trust, leading a team of 126 staff members and managing a medicine budget of over 58 million. He was born in Freetown and came from a family of healthcare professionals. He's married with 4 children. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming Mr. Samuel Bundu Kamara. I'm going to give him a round of applause, please. I'm going to give him a round of applause. Thank you, our beautiful ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Can I relax some of us? One more to go. Another fire too. Another fire. So thank you, Mr. Bundu, for accepting this invitation to be one of our MCs. You know, where I look at the CV, the experience, the expertise, it's very, very rich. Thank you very much for your years of experience and expertise. Thank you, sir. Yeah. I can introduce the bomber, the woman Jagaban. Anyway, on a very serious note, ladies and gentlemen, I've also been given the privilege, the mandate to introduce a very astute and diligent lady who will also join Mr. Samuel Bondo Kamara as one of our MCs for tonight. She's a registered practicing professional midwife with over 20 years of experience, with clinical and management experience, followed by 15 years as a public health practitioner, both with degree and master's level respectively. Not to SLPP degree or ABC degree.
Yes.
This now the United Kingdom, Igeta, not under the Mangotico. Our professional experience include working in all aspects of midwifery care, practice as a specialist FGM midwife, professional midwifery advocate, infants physical examination midwife, high dependency of complex care, a clinical lead, practice development, and also on-call manager at the Royal Berkshire NHS Foundation Trust in Reading. Alex say Reading, and they take the bookman. Yeah, wow. And she's a local specialist midwifery practitioner at Ashford and St. Peter's NHS Foundation Trust, and currently self-employed. And I get the money. And I tell you, in addition, she's a founder and chair of Women with Visions in Reading since 2013.
Yes.
She is an FGM activist, community champion, and has a huge emotional affection on women's health and well-being. She collaboratively works with other community groups and organizations to reach out to reach and disengage community, engaging in empowering women in various dispensations. At present, she is the vice chair for the Alford Ex-People Association. The very popular school, it's all the global school, not the global. She was born in the UK but raised in Sierra Leone from a ruling family of educationists. She's a happily married woman with 2 beautiful children. She loves traveling, spa wellness, networking, socializing outside of work. Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh my goodness.
members of the Well Body Group, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please
Stand
welcome
up.
Mrs. Jenny
Jenny
Culmore.
Really let me follow. Really let me follow. Really let me follow. Hello, take me, follow me from me. And go sell me paper now, make sure you let me alone, baby.
Miatta.
All right, you may have a seat now. I think my job is fulfilled, is completed. Now I can hand over to two suitable and dynamic MCs for tonight. Once more, I want to thank Mrs. Jenny Culmore and Mr. Bundu for accepting this invitation to be our MCs tonight. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Good luck, Bobo.
Mr. Conte, aka Putrokobo, thank you very much for that introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, I think whenever I do any professional talk, I'm going to ask them for this type of introduction. I think, as you can see, even though we try and convey a very important message, we still like to have fun whilst doing that.
Yeah.
So I want to officially thank you all for coming, especially our patrons. Welcome. And also to you. And again, we apologize for the late start, but we've got a comprehensive program for you tonight. Okay? First of all, I want to do one special thing. I want us all to appreciate our chairman, Dr. Sise, for his hard work, vision in leading and also making it possible for us all here to be here today to talk about a very, very important message. So please, just a quick round of applause for Dr. Sise. Okay, so before I hand over the mic to Jamie, I just wanted to say a few words about healthcare, in particular about Sierra Leone healthcare. We all know the challenges that healthcare in Sierra Leone in particular. And I always believe the only way to change this is for people like ourselves to step up to the plate like we're here to do. I just wanted to give you some quick facts, and this is going back to the WHO report 2022. Maternal mortality in Sierra Leone, as of 2022, it's 443 per 1,000. That's a huge number. Okay? Life expectancy in Sierra Leone is 54 years. 54 years on average. Okay? Just wanted that for you to sink in. What's also important, even in the UK here, ethnic minority are disproportionately affected by healthcare. The COVID pandemic exposed that for us. So we need to take it very, very seriously. So as we go through this evening, we're going to discuss
Zainab. Any yourself.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bundu. Good evening again, everybody. Because we care about our health, and that's why you've taken interest in making it possible. And therefore, let's take this day very serious. Let's interact. Let's make this day worth the reason why we are here. And by doing so, we need your cooperation, not only in listening, but also
interacting, asking questions, and also having the opportunity of actually sharing something you would want to share with us if you like. But we really need to get this session going and make it worth the reason why we are here. And for a start, we know that's why you are all here, looking beautiful and also enthusiastic to be here. As you've noticed, even the food we've shared with you all, we handpicked them to make sure they're looking as healthy as possible from an African dish. As you all know, our dishes are not very healthy, but we tried. So charity begins at home. We've got to start from here and take it out and put it into practice. And I know we are all here and would ensure we're going to do that today. We all know
on time, and your people should know to keep quiet, not shut the door on us. They have to be quiet. They're professionals.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Don't shut the door. Don't shut. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
It's too hot.
Yeah. Yes. But I talk to them, please.
Can we ensure to keep the noise down, please, ladies and gentlemen? Can we open the back door, please?
Yeah, open the back door as well.
But at least it gets air into the... Thank you very much. My apologies.
Doctor. Doctor.
We've already delayed in the program, so I think with no further ado, I think let's just keep the program going. So first and foremost, I think according to our agenda, we would love to give the honor to our chairman of the Well-Body Group to come and give us a really deep insight into what this Well-Body Group is all about, because that information is going to make or break us. And I'm sure you guys are very keen to know what this Well-Body Group is all about. And I'll give the mic. And if our DJ could please give our MC, our chairman, the honor so we can welcome him in a grand style to actually give this occasion a grand opening. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Mohammed Sissel.
Famous. Hello, 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 hello. Awe, you get one life only. You still get one life only. Why will you use some gladdy? Every already your time. I don't love the finish. I mean, do it nobody. Now, why the time for always get some nice every day and night? This one where we often reset, not nobody young. You want to get what you want, we go down your belly, I know you young. And the balance for your good, I left the other money young. So wait for the day you say, oh, tell him how to go away, you left fire. Fire. If you see fire, so you go let be more. You make a woman where you let the other. And if you let me one, I'll keep out. But then more, if you know if you go,
Thank you.
Good evening. Can I ask that you guys just stay with me upstage here, please, if you don't mind? Members of the Well-Body Group, could you just stay upstage here with me? And I will try and be brief. Good evening again, everyone. May I start by, first of all, apologizing for the late start, and also give my apologies for the Member of Parliament for PECKHAM, Miatta. She conveys her apologies. She was supposed to be here to be opening this program, but unfortunately, checking her diary, you know, they just took over power, and then they are trying to get settled. So she needed a little bit of a break. That's why she's not here. And the second apology which I have is from the Mayor of Southwark. She just traveled into the UK just now, and she's just from the program, so she's late. But she has given me assurance just now that she will still grace the occasion. So we expect that she will be launching this program. I would hope and pray that she's able to make it. It's a very busy schedule for some of these people. But can I also acknowledge and thank you for coming, those who are here. We all know the type of sort of atmosphere which we had fairly recently in the UK. Sounds as if it's had a bit of a bearing to the turnout which we have here. We had sold hundreds of tickets, and we were hoping that we would have a big crowd here. But there are things which we can control, and there are some which we cannot control. We hope and pray that things go very smoothly. So once more, I want to thank you for your patience, for coming. For Sierra Leoneans who are here, I wouldn't actually belabor the point. My colleague has just mentioned some really telling statistics about the healthcare delivery system of Sierra Leone, and I wouldn't go through that again. But is there anyone here who may not have used the healthcare delivery system of Sierra Leone? Sierra Leone, EU or a close relative of yourself? Is there anyone who could say, I've not benefited, or I don't need it, or I haven't used it? Certainly, it sounds as if all of us would have used it, or perhaps our loved ones are using it right now, or they need it. And in fact, the stark reality is, you and I can travel to Sierra Leone today, arrive in Sierra Leone, and perhaps be at the sharp end of needing to use the healthcare delivery system of Sierra Leone. So as we leave here today, it's not going to be an evening of talking too much. I just want you to go away and start thinking about doing something for yourself. And if there is anything in life that you have to do for yourself, you don't have to wait for another person to do for you, and that is looking after your own health. I'm not even talking about the health of your son or your daughter, as personal as it is, but even yourself. You get to Brimtonroy, I think very recently we had cases of people suffering heart attacks or dying from abroad. We've had those sorts of cases. Culmore Hospital was founded in 1912. And as bad as things might be, there are good aspects as well. And I can assure you tonight that me standing in front of you, I'm a product of that system. I got my initial training there. We could see some videos of what we have as our biggest referral hospitals in our country. They are not the best to see. Please close your ears. Ayad is one of my trainees in this country, but he's come to help us. But I'm sure listening to some of this or seeing some of it, he might think it's not real. But things are not the greatest, really. But as bad as it is, the healthcare delivery system of Sierra Leone over the years has been through really very big trying times. We've had the war with all its consequences needing the healthcare delivery system. We've had the Ebola pandemic, all of that needing the healthcare delivery system, the Culmore Hospital and all the places. We've had fairly recently COVID. What we have is what has been bearing the brunt of all of this. And not to talk of the chronic problems that we've had, including things like chronic poverty, with all its consequences like malnutrition and all the rest. And so who say they end up? The hospitals now they like what you would call dirty box. Now anything will happen to a person, be it lack of hygiene or whatever, the person ends up in where? The hospital. And these are the hospitals which we have that have been sustaining the country, the population of Sierra Leone. Actually, what you are seeing is the biggest infant hospital in my country. It's not a good sight. We all know what the problems are. Tonight, we are not here to continue to highlight those problems. The question I want us to walk out of this room that should be weighing on our shoulders is, what are you and I doing about it? Enough about talking about problems. Nothing is too little for you to do. And as I said, you are not doing it even for your child, you are doing it for yourself. You get off a plane in Sierra Leone, you could suffer some problem, and suddenly you need someone to help you. And did you think about it that you might perhaps need that? How about your children? How about your mom, your dad, your brothers and sisters? You have the option of enjoying the healthcare delivery system of something which someone else fixed. And you're here enjoying that protection, that reassurance. But yes, the rest of your loved ones are there without that sort of reassurance. So I want us to leave this place today to think about how we can ensure that we be part and parcel. You could give donations to whatever we're doing. So that takes me to the aims and objectives. But otherwise, as you could see here, it's an array of professionals in the healthcare delivery system. And one of the things I wanted to emphasize tonight, it's the different model which we are beginning to think about. Formally or traditionally, when we talk about a healthcare delivery system, we only think about medics, doctors. But I want us to start thinking that healthcare delivery systems do not stop with doctors. We have what we call the social care bit, and we have a fair bit of social workers with us. And the way the healthcare delivery system works in this country is you find yourself sitting in a room of professionals, not only doctors, you have nurses in there, you have pharmacists, you have occupational therapists, you have physiotherapists, you have psychologists, you have social workers, all of them in one room talking about one patient and looking at that patient in a holistic way and making sure all the problems that might lead to the ill health of this person are mopped up and addressed in a holistic way. And that is the way, as rudimentary as the system we have today might look, but that is the way we want to start thinking about it. And that is the model which these people, the group of people we have here, are trying to promote in our country. And just to say a few other things, with the aims and objectives, they range from educational, health, economic, and social. And it speaks for itself. Education, we want to support our colleagues back home, even if it's with refresher trainings, nothing too big or too little for you to do. You could even do it virtually if we have the systems in place. Give them a little bit of training, talk a little bit about how we can engage some philanthropists here, trusts here, training links with them, see what perhaps they would consider as access to their systems, how it could form the nucleus of our own system there. Exchange of staffing, personnel, fundraising for equipment, and indeed, I can assure you, these people have been doing a brilliant job already with sending supplies back home. All sorts of supplies that you can need, they've shipped over and over and over again. From stethoscopes, blood pressure machines, glucometers, you name it. They've said it's not too little, let's start, let's get going. And that is what they've been doing. And just to give you examples of some of the other things which they've been doing already, let's talk a little bit about one or two cases. Fairly recently, there was a young girl, a 16-year-old girl, from school, actually in school uniform on the day, was walking home in one of the villages. And I don't know what they were doing, maybe cutting wood or a tree or something, exactly. And then the branch fell on this girl from school, 16-year-old, and went into coma. I got a call, hey, we don't have money, what are we going to do? my daughter is dying. 16 teeth. The 16 teeth out. Right away, the girl was in coma. And with my lovely people here, we were able to put funds together to save that girl's life. And that's her in coma there, and that's her when she was in coma. Now she's back in school, doing a lot. We would have had her speak for time purposes. And I will also want to talk about, even from the social aspect. Zainab O is a social worker who from here has engaged
Yamata.
this group.
Okay. No, let use that. Let use that. Yes, let use that. Yeah, let it.
It's an obvious case of children being at risk, isn't it? So one of the other guys, we are contacted here, and through the good offices of colleagues here, like Zainab and Fatima, my wife, we were able to work together, and we were able to bring resources to bear to rescue that guy from here. We spoke to people, we sent people there and all the rest of it. So they took the other girl, we found a place for her. As I speak, she's under absolute responsibility beyond the girl. We are paying fees, we are looking after the girl, we are doing everything. Can we have her speak? Is it possible? That's the girl there.
Dr. Dinke.
Yes, please, let her speak, let people hear.
Then le bokuma le gode. Na de wa ba mi na de kanta pa wa mi sister.
Let's start again.
After na gode go any side some na de for me na de police ya. So I be dey to one from ya until then. So I can do this me until I sell to you sell time. Then le bokuma le gode. Ade one family, I didn't can't one family sister. So now this daughter, stress day, I didn't this man ten go na village. I didn't go take me out in there. So when go out in there now, I left the place. I meet out two guys in the make big. So now they in Camille put me some at school because school don't work. Now I say when school they open and they begin at school. So now they. Then say school open, they put me school for me to be attention. I make this video any service I did to for me to help me. Now thank you.
So this is an everyday reality in Sierra Leone. There are bits and pieces that we can do to rescue there are so many of these girls around. I will at this stage call upon Sister Bintu to just speak to us about the activities of the Well-Body Group from even within the UK here. And after that, please do us the favor of introducing every member here, however brief. So speak to us about an old couple here that we've been helping.
Thank you so much, everybody. Well, me, I did bring other one. I did talk about with dialect because I get to my meeting and I ask what they work with. Although English is broken, then they agree, but for make them purpose of being here be well fulfilled at the come and the level. Yama Binti, I am Yamuna, and we get a couple of them around Southeast And within East London, I will start with them because then I mean the former candidates then we take them to museums, outing, we help them for do their hair, GP calls, and so on and so forth. And just checking up on them were very, very important. So up to last night, I did not they tell them say, I don't come back home and we they continue solving stuff. They were very enthusiastic and there they are. And, Oma Esam? Okay. We can understand. Sorry. Echepai, yoye. Mama skela no kai outing, popone no. And the store megal buy chenu to my me to kiteri kamana so the kind of from kabaya that's one bless you. Matter pay, sorry for the one the way no you the I will make the interpret to them later. Mr. Bulu been telling me say we people then deprive now we areas. So we keep them so busy and they miss that moment there. And also, what we do, we get another new case where we don't follow. Then they all the way in Sutton, because of confidentiality, obviously, we will just talk, we'll not go name. But these people are very satisfied. When they tell them about the well body, they call we. We get online call with them. We tell them waiting our vision, what we they do, how we they do them. Because one of them no say they said they don't born picking them. The one the way she do here today they introduce waiting people them from Freetown don't achieve. I feel say anybody when come off Freetown go gladly. So I see the way they put their hands together. Now this one for saying our community. So after we don't call them, they open their hands then to we say they are ready to work with us. So the first visit was by myself and Sister Zainab. We went all the way to Sutton. We talked to them. They're pleased for have we, and they want us to go ahead. They gave us a lot of assignments, ranging from writing letters, helping with lasting power of attorney. Sorry. So we now that kind of thing there, that's what we did do because we are a group where we say we diverse. Doctors, social workers, nurses, midwives, and all other allied workers. So we take up this case. I don't visit them over 7 times as I speak. When the body get back place, when they go as well body, when they go here and make you feel good. If they didn't do nursing home, if they see the smile, when they raise that life in them. If they can come from Australia, I'll reach out. When I go see them. So these are the sorts of things we do. When they then host them, when they call. Because sometimes just a single call, they do a lot. And why me take that passion in dealing with the aged? Because research don't tell me say by 2050, we are going to have up to 2 billion people. They will not be over 60. And some of us are almost round the corner. So we therefore take it very serious. And when you look at research for health worldwide, the only African country that will stand out, South Africa, followed by Kenya. When you come to West Africa, it's Nigeria, and they are 48.something%. So this is where us in Wellbody want to step in to make sure that I don't become one of those countries, so that we combat the inequalities the way they, not just for the old mama them, the young people them, and the way doctor don't say ourselves. So charity begins at home. When I will see the clip them, and we are ready to move. So anybody wait there, we want to join the group, and don't sign post 3. Me, I get them, I meet them. I go add the pad and them. and we'll go back and continue for the way they do. We thank you all for coming. We thank you. Well, this is the guy from Australia who they follow in family.
This kind of help existed.
Can you start it again? You start it again or left hand? Okay, left hand.
A help both for me living across the world in Australia, but also for my mum for everything that she's been going through, and for obviously my dad for everything he's going through.
Yes, you've heard from Joseph. This is our uncle's son, all the way from Australia to see the mom and dad, which is exceptional. And these are the sorts of things we love to see in what we do. And then I've given him like a synopsis of the things we do, and the mom has also spoken to him. He's ever so grateful that we are here and we are doing what we're supposed to do best. And then he's very much grateful to each and every one.
I just want to say thank you again. I can't express how much I appreciate it. Please continue to do what you're doing, not just for me, but for all of our people across the UK. I'm sure it was expands across the world, hopefully. And yeah, that's the
All right, then. So this is myself, and this is Joseph from Australia, uncle's son, and I'll give you the rest of it. I've actually engaged him. He's ever so pleased, and I want to thank him so much for allowing me to capture this moment on behalf of the group. Thank you so much, Joseph.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, apologies. The second task by myself. Can I have each and every member in blue to come here, please? Please. Yeah. So, whilst we wait, we don't want to keep it now because the program here for keep. They don't introduce. I am a registered manager, mental health nurse. So many accolades, but not the whole one, and that's no more. A member of the Well Body Clinic, so they pass and everybody get the chance for me to say something for introduce themselves.
Dr. Dinkel, how can block me?
My name is Haja Bankeuri. I'm a registered nurse at Barnet Hospital.
Thank you.
What do you do? I'm from the Southwest Bristol. I'm a registered nurse, and I've got an agency, nursing agency called Sierra Healthcare. My name is Augusta Kurma. I'm a registered nurse at the Royal Berkshire Hospital.
Augusta, who Justina?
My name is Fatima Takago. I'm a social worker and an approved mental health practitioner. Currently working in Haringey.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Mrs. Zainab Omoyemi. I'm a consultant lead practitioner in adult safeguarding in the London Borough of Bromley, and I'm a member of the Well Body Group.
Good evening. My name is Fatima Wanase. I'm a registered nurse, adult nurse.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Justina Bangura. I'm a registered nurse and I work at the Royal Berkshire Hospital in Reading. Hello, everyone. I wasn't going to say where I work. My name is Haja Kamara Hajake. Most people know me. I am a social worker. Not saying where I work, but across two boroughs. Thank you.
Name Aisha Bangura and from Peterborough, main child and social worker from Cambridgeshire.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Hawa Bangura. I'm a mental health nurse with Kent and Midway.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for coming today. My name is Sanusi Kuru. I'm a social worker and approved mental health professional with West Berkshire Council.
And Safi.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ms. Safiat Bangura, commonly known as the Queen of Berkshire. I'm a senior mental health practitioner working with Prospect Bypass System Reading.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Charles Sise. I recently retrained. I was a community development manager in Serenity, but I recently retrained here in the UK as a social worker, and I'm working for Bristol City Council.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aisha Bangura. I'm a mental health nurse student at the moment. Looking forward to start my.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Josephine Bufana Kamara. I'm a registered RDN, senior staff nurse working in the Western catchment. Thank you.
Good evening, all. My name is Miatta, working in the NHS registered nurse. Thank you.
Miatta.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alpha Said Sango. I'm a team manager and digital coordinator for Southwest London and Mental Health NHS Trust.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Mustafa Konse, popularly known as Potlock Bobo. I'm a local social worker for Kensington and Chelsea.
Then Kadi.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sally. Yes, I'm a nurse practitioner working in East London NHS Foundation Trust. Very later to be specific, all of that.
Auntie Kadi, you get 11 blocks.
My name is Kadi Kuyatse Kamara. I am in this group as a mother of medical practitioners. Yes.
Oh, the mayor. Hello.
Good evening, everyone.
How are you?
My name is
Assalamu alaikum.
Those of you that knows me is Miatta. I'm one of the members of the Well-Body Group. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Amadou Denke. I'm the Secretary General of the Well-Body Group. Not only, but one of the few non-medical people, because as you can see, the chairman have already stated it. This is the group that encourage people that align with the values of the group. So I'm one of the people who align myself with health and social well-being of people. So that's why I'm in the group. So I'm an engineer, I'm a researcher, I'm a lecturer. Thank you.
Okay, one thing yes, I will go to Dr. Kamara. Although he's our patron tonight, but he's also one of us. And Mr. Malcolm, I'm watching you.
I didn't think I was going to do this. For those that know me, people refer to me as doctor, but I actually am a mister. Those that understand the term mister, obviously somebody who's a surgeon, and so I'm an A&E consultant. I wanted to say three things. One, the 55th, pardon me, I don't want things to be religious, but I'm just one of those all-rounders, as it were. The 55th surah in the 114 chapters of the Quran says, Hal jazahul ihsan illa al-ihsan. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. What that means is goodness begets nothing else but goodness. So it boomerangs. When you do good, it boomerangs and it comes back to you. Double fold. It might not be direct, it might be indirect. And that's what we're seeing there. Second, yeah, Innal hasanat yudhibna sayyi'at. That means the goodness we do or the good we do negates or neutralizes the bad we do. And we're all guilty of that. So do as much good as you can to wipe the bad that you do. 3, and that I have to borrow from somebody. Yeah? The American president, JFK, once said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for those few words. Over to you.
Good evening, good afternoon. My name is Komba Al-Hassan. We are from Peterborough. I'm a social worker by profession. By expert. We have our own company, Isabano Care, and we're looking forward to support the group as much as we can. Thank you.
Registered member, you need to say something.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Malcolm Thomas Simogo Opiko Tombe Pointer. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a financial protection advisor. I work for Access Financial Services, and I'm also chairman. And also I double as a chairperson of both the Rookies Development Association and also for the Uber Drivers Association. Let me say this to all of us. I'm just here in this group. I have no medical knowledge, but I just believe that I've got medical knowledge now from these people standing in front of you. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a saying, health is wealth. Health is wealth. And I also want to say, a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. A healthy nation is a wealthy nation. Round of applause for those people standing out. Thank you.
Okay, before I hand back the mic, one thing we don't happen now, I guess everybody don't pay attention to is we are very diverse. You have people from Manchester, Bristol, anyone, Oxfordshire, and any tech word. By the time Petersburg, you name it, and you know why? We are aiming to catch all the areas within and around the M25. And check us out in the next session we're going to have. We're going to conquer within and around the M25. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies.
Yes. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we've met members of the body group. So what we're going to do now, we're going to proceed with the program. First of all, the mayor is here. She's just sitting on my right there, but we're going to give her a few minutes just to relax and catch up. Yeah? And what we're going to do, we're going to start off with our professional talks. These talks are going to last about 5 minutes. And please, because of time, if we can keep to the 5 minutes, and so that everybody can get the opportunity to say something. So I'm going to call on the first person on the list that I've got here, and that is Tina Davis. Is Tina around? Welcome to Tina. She's going to talk to us about cancer.
Thank you very much, and I'd like to congratulate the World Body Group for putting this together. And nice to see Sierra Leoneans coming together to actually
support ourselves and support the country. Before I go further, I would like to say that I'm from Cancer UK Salon, which is a charity registered here to work both in the UK and in Sierra Leone. So far, we've done so many virtual talks and trainings. Only last week, we trained about 20 healthcare workers from 20 PHUs in Western Orbit in prostate cancer in terms of knowing signs and symptoms and how to refer them. And last year, we had the first breast cancer conference in McCainy in collaboration with TBK University. So we'll be doing a lot and supporting the palliative care team as well in Connaught Hospital with palliative care drugs. I've been given, 5 minutes, and I'm supposed to be talking about prostate cancer and breast cancer. Looking at the audience, I'm sure a lot of people can read, so I don't think I'm going to go through all the slides because then I would be over time, or then I'll just go to the key stuff. If I can have the next slide, please. Okay, so we're going to be talking about prostate cancer, understanding prostate cancer, what it is, who gets prostate cancer, and where the prostate is, the disease itself, different types of prostate problems. And if we go outside where we have the stores there, there's a store with all leaflets and brochures on prostate cancer where people can take their pics as well. It says to condemnation. Today, you don't have to pay anything, you just take the leaflets as well for breast cancer. So please help yourself out there. So that picture there, I think sometimes you look at that and it's very clinical, talking about that, but it's just showing the prostate where it is, which is right underneath the bladder. There's a lot of people, some on social media, research is done recently. A lot of people don't know, even men don't know their prostates are. So that's just usually showing that. Don't do it to the next one. Okay. Talking about cancer, this is just a slide that shows what a normal cell is. If you can look at that, and when the cell becomes abnormal, when basically the ability to increase and then it becomes malignant. So that's what you see all the time. And prostate cancer, this cancer is when cells become abnormal. Anywhere in the body that the primary abnormal cells is, so prostate cancer, of the cell comes from the prostate, it becomes prostate cancer. Equally, not breast cancer, lung cancer is the same. The cell formation remains the same, but the location is where the cell turn. Okay. So signs and symptoms of prostate cancer. I'm just looking to look at the audience and see how many men we've got here. And as the T-shirt shows, it says prostate cancer in all one business. A lot of women, we need to support our partners, our fathers in going through this journey. Because we do know research shown that, men don't seek healthcare. They have to be pushed even when they're suffering. But when it comes to prostate cancer, most of the cancers, prostate cancer doesn't have any signs and symptoms. So, but these are just the common ones that we're taking. That when it comes to weakness or the urine irritability. When you look at that, younger men, when they used to pee, obviously they'll be challenging, shooting up. It goes up when they pee. But then when you get older, you barely have a, so that's what it says there. And trouble in emptying your bladder. In the sense, you go so often, your bladder doesn't get empty. There is a pamphlet out there which shows the number of times as well when people go. Again, going faster could be diabetes or different things. Doesn't necessarily mean it's prostate cancer. But each time there are abnormalities, you need to get it checked out. Pain, burning sensation. So, that's fine, yeah. So talking about prostate cancer and when they have no signs and symptoms at all, I've mentioned that because I'm trying to skip through the slides as fast as possible. So basically, difficulty starting urination, Pending there, it could be different prostate problem, because enlargement of prostate, which you'll see that as well, doesn't necessarily mean you have prostate cancer, but these are just the changes to the prostate that I have to look at. If I can have the next slide, please. So who are at risk of prostate cancer? Definitely men, because women don't have prostate. Age, when you get older men mostly get prostate cancer, unless with Black men or Afro-Caribbean men who are more at risk of getting prostate cancer. So we look at that, I've just stated that, and who is more at risk? If you've had breast cancer in your family, this is what a lot of people don't know. Strongly struck breast cancer, your mother, your sister, you are at risk of developing prostate cancer. And when it comes to genetics as well, if your parents, if your father, uncle, or grandfather had prostate cancer, then you are at risk of developing prostate cancer as well. How do we diagnose prostate cancer? A lot of men think usually it's the finger up the bottom. That's why they don't like it. The DR, which is a digital rectal examination. It's not always the case, unless if there are really signs and symptoms. For a simple blood test, which is called the PSA blood test, they do that, and you will tell whether there's any raise. Again, a change or a raised PSA doesn't necessarily have prostate cancer. If you have an infection, it can raise your PSA. If you've just had sex before you had the PSA test, your PSA will be up as well. I've just discussed about the PSA. I'm trying to speak through. Obviously, we're talking about prostate problems, prostatitis and BPH, which is just a benign prostate hypertrophy. These are the things, just the changes. And again, leaflets are out there that you can pick up if you're more interested to know more. You can pick that up and you know that. Treatment or management of prostate cancer. You have watchful waiting. If they think that, okay, it's a very slow growth of prostate cancer, sometimes the age is what determines the sort of treatment you get. So we have watchful surgery. That's what a lot of our Black men don't like, surgery, because they think after surgery or any sort of treatment, they wouldn't have erection. And that business is what a lot of men think, well, if I have prostate cancer, I'm not a man. But there are a lot of things that they can do, medication, treatment, that can support. That's where my psychosocial comes in again on that aspect, talking to the women, because if your man is not getting it up or not interested, sometimes they don't even know what's happening to them. They're trying to deal with something. If they're not coming to bed early, it doesn't mean because they're having an affair. It's because they want you to be asleep, so the opportunity for them to get it up doesn't happen. Because usually, the very early morning erection that most men get when they go into the loo, they don't get it. That's why they notice something isn't right. Hormone therapy, which is what women usually have as well if they get fibroids, when they give them the Prostap or the Zoladex to shrink the prostate. So that will shrink it and will help in terms of symptom management. Now that one just shows what I've just mentioned, that 1 in 4 Black men are at risk of developing prostate cancer. Usually they will say 50 and upwards, but for Black men it's 45. From 45, you need to start going for PSA. Slides are going to show certain things, but just to mention that, they would not invite you for PSA. There is no screening for prostate cancer as opposed to breast cancer or cervical cancer. If you have a family history, if you're 45 Black men, you can go to your GP and request that. If you have your brother, I've mentioned, brother had prostate cancer, then you're at risk of it. If your mother or your sisters had breast cancer, then you're at risk of prostate cancer. A lot of people know about breast cancer, but less of prostate cancer, because this is something that our men don't talk about, or our society don't talk about, which we should start having this conversation. So if we know what our parents died of, or grandparents, or what's wrong with them, as opposed to just saying, oh, it gets small problem with the water works, with the PP fast, with the waiting. Who's I picking the day, so they will say, oh, I can't be spine self, not knowing what's going on. But these are the signs and symptoms, and this is what our society people need to understand and how they can support them, because there's a lot of stigma to prostate cancer and shame. Our reaction towards the stigma is what causes the shame to the people, and they hide. They don't talk and just present themselves if they notice there are any problems. So this is just saying that 42%, that's specific to the UK, 42% of men think their GP will call them for a prostate screening, and it's a no. Currently, there is no prostate screening in Sierra Leone, like a screening program, in the UK. So you have to go to your GP and ask. There's a lot of work going on at the moment through prostate cancer and discussions in Parliament to see how the screening can be a program in the UK. Unfortunately, our men don't get involved in research because only the data can tell and justify why certain things are being done. But if we don't get involved in research, they will not have the data, men will not have screening. 64% of men think prostate test means a finger up the bum. That's what I just mentioned. That's what they don't go, thinking that the doctor is going to put a finger up the bum, and it's very uncomfortable. And we our society thinking that anything up the bum, how men have been termed us. I would not mention that. But again, that's why they don't go. But a simple blood test, the PSA, which, I not even needles, some men are so scared of. But it's easy. Just go and get a blood test and you're okay. 70% of men think that they have to wait until they have signs and symptoms, then they will know that there's something wrong with me. But if you wait till you start having signs and symptoms, it means it's gone too far. These are the statistics that from Prostate Cancer UK that's just showing that 74% of men, that's the study was done. 1 in 3 men realized that early detection of prostate cancer saves lives, and it doesn't have any signs and symptoms. 1 in 2 men, they think they'll be invited, to have prostate cancer screening. 54% of men realize prostate cancer is the most common cancer amongst men in the UK and globally. Because even in Sierra Leone, that's what we're looking at, because we launched the first prostate cancer campaign in Sierra Leone last year, which is called Prostate Cancer SL, and prostate cancer, now we're all business. That's the t-shirt I'm wearing at the moment, just to raise the awareness of people to know that it's all of our businesses. The men, especially in Africa, they are breadwinners. The family dynamics, if the man gets prostate cancer, we don't have the support. When that man goes, we know what happens to the rest of the family. So how we support and how we encourage men to get a PSA test. This is just showing 1 in 8 men will get prostate cancer, that's generally, and 1 in 4 black men will get prostate cancer. The Prostate Cancer UK does have a 30-second risk checker, which you just scan and it tells you your age, your race. If you have any family history, then it tells if you're not at risk, don't do anything. If you're at risk, then you have to see your GP. So that's the prostate cancer aspect. Then I'm supposed to do breast cancer. I had asked them before, like, what's the timing for that? But I'll try to skip. So we can let's just go to, okay, breast cancer. That's what happened in the pinky there. We'll go to the next slide. So the prevalence of breast cancer. Breast cancer is the most common cancer in women. And in the UK, we have 55,000 cases of breast cancer diagnosed every year, meaning there is 150 cases per day that's been diagnosed. That's how big the problem is. And talking about lifetime risk, basically in the UK, we'll say 1 in 7 women are at risk of developing breast cancer. And they do have male breast cancers as well. That's what people don't know. Very few men get breast cancer, but men do get breast cancer. And when you look at it, you get about 370 men who are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in the UK. Survival rate, it has improved. We have 76% of survival rate now based on the screening program. That's why we've been pushing to see how we can get screening program for prostate cancer as well. So people get called for screening from age 50 upwards. In certain areas, they're trying to reduce it from 47, and they're trying to extend it. If it was 50 to 70, Now they're trying to say 47 to 73 because people are getting breast cancer later and they have it earlier. So I've just mentioned that because I'm trying to remember the slides. The risk factors, and if we go back to the next risk factors again, age is a risk factor if you're 50 and up. Genetics, if you've had people in the family that's got breast cancer, then you're at risk of developing, and lifestyle as well. Consumption of excessive alcohol, obesity, lack of physical exercises, because I know doctors are going to talk about physical exercises later on. So these are all risk factors. And this is just that, it's like knowing your breast, the size of your breast. So basically, if your breasts are sort of symmetrical means that they're even, then you notice that one is getting bigger than the other one. This is something it's checked out. It doesn't necessarily mean it's breast cancer, but obviously there's a change there that you need to get checked out. If you have pain or swelling in the breast, again, you go get it checked out. Pain and swelling sometimes for when you call lump, for younger women, it might just be that it's a cyst. Or you wouldn't just say it's a cyst if it doesn't get checked out by our ultrasound. Ultrasound will tell you that, okay, it's a cyst, if you're going to excise it or whatever it is, or leave it, it will absorb itself. Reason for recall, I deliberately put this here because a lot of women, after they would have had their screening, the very first screening, they get recalled. They think because they've been called, they have breast cancer, and they don't attend the recall because they're scared. But the reason they get recalled is that there is no baseline. You haven't had any mammogram before, so the screening program don't know what your breast is like. But sometimes it's just natural one. So looking at that, it might be a mass, which they can do an ultrasound to check what it is. It could be architectural distortion. I will show you the pictures later on. Asymmetric density. Now, if we go to the next slide, the next one. Okay, so that's what a mass looks like on the ultrasound. So you see that the watery area there. If that's what the case, it's very, very common amongst younger women. If an older woman is having a mass like that, then that's a problem. It's very worrying because they're not supposed to be doing that. But if they have dense breasts, the mass is always possible there. Architectural distortion, if you have a look at that, see how all of the breast there, the structure is even, but the shiny bit there is distorted. That's another reason. Or again, it's possible that you've had an accident before, you've been hit on your breast, you've had like a seatbelt, but then the people who do your screening, they don't take any clinical information, they just screen. But when you go to the clinics, that's why it gets analyzed. So if they see that it's abnormal to them, or they call you to ensure that it's nothing nasty or something to worry about. Based on your history and clinical examination, the doctor will say it's nothing. You get discharged and get recalled in 3 years. Asymmetric density. That again is another thing. But if you look at that side as to how it is, these are the reasons why they will call you, especially for the first time screenings. If it's the first time you're getting screened, then you get called for that. It could be normal for you, you've had a history of a fall, you've been hit, but they wouldn't know that until you've been called. That's microclassification, which is common amongst older women. Older women get that because the breast gets older, you get all this classification where it looks like powder. But when they do that, they do a magnifying glass, the way they do the mammograms, to see if there is nothing wrong with it. So most older women have breasts like that, but there is absolutely nothing wrong. But they will call you to ensure that everything is around that one. So at this note, I'll say thank you very much for listening.
Okay, thank you very much, Tina. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tina, for giving us an overview of cancer. And we all know how much cancer has been engulfing our community, our friends, our family. We've all been affected in one way or the other. So a word to take along from Tina, I would believe, is do not dismiss anything that doesn't look normal. So we all know what's normal to ourselves, but if you notice anything changing, don't be dismissive. We all know we are scared of the big C, but it's better to be safe than us being sorry. So please, please, let's be each other's keeper. If we notice something even in our friends, family, and you think it doesn't look right, it's okay for you to break that ice and actually talk about it. So just wanting to just remind people that we do have coupons which are being sold by Hajake. Hajake, could you wave your hands, please? I know it's quite hot, just so people know where to get their coupons so they can keep themselves hydrated while we proceed. Also, so that's what I was just going to say. So raffle tickets as well are going on. £5 for an envelope, and we've got very good prices going on, such as blood pressure machine, glucometers. You've got a shipping voucher. There's also a meal for two. The prices go on. So please support us in part of the fundraising by buying your raffle tickets. Just to acknowledge other people in our midst, just wanting to acknowledge Dr. Fofana, a former Minister of Health in Sierra Leone, and we're talking about health, so it's good for us to acknowledge people in our midst. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. With no further ado, we would proceed to our next speaker, who is nobody else but one of our formidable Dr. Mohamed Kamara, who is going to give us a talk about hypertension. And we know how that's sensitive and a silent killer within our Black and ethnic minority. So please, please, lend him your ears and let's learn something today that will take away. Dr. Kamara, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you. I don't know, how do you beat that, or how do you follow what has been said already? Now, I don't know how I'm going to fit this in 5 minutes. It's hardly enough time to do the intro, never mind, do a proper talk. When I did this talk, I think I spent about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. So for me to do that in 5 minutes, I think it's practically impossible, simple as that. However, I need to tell you this. The reason why blood pressure is important is because it kills, believe it or not. It's not without reason that it's called the silent killer. It is one of the non-communicable diseases. It speaks to you, you don't hear it. You have it, you're not aware of it, until you end up with me in the A&E with a stroke, with a heart attack, a kidney failure, and God forbid you have a double whammy of diabetes on board that. That's like a no-no. But it's very, very often you find the two together. All right? So, everybody, I don't know, I like to do this thing in an interactive way. I don't know whether anybody knows what is the normal blood pressure. Can anybody help me with that? 120/80, right? Why do I not agree with that? Absolutely, this is the problem. And when everybody says, oh, 120/80, well, you know. No, you see, that's the problem with it. Exactly, that's one thing. The other thing that helps with that is what? Yeah? Genetics. So there's two things here. What you can do something about and what you can't do anything about. So the genetical side of things, you can't do anything. I mean, I wanted to be King Charles's son, but I can't do that, can I? You know what I'm saying? And that's it. Now, that's what I'm saying. I was born in Sierra Leone, and I'm proud to be a Sierra Leonean. And for those who don't know me, my dad is the man otherwise known as Sori Osusu. Some people might know him. Alhaji Sori Ibrahim Kamara, Rahimahullah, is not with us now, but I'm so proud that I am his son. Yeah. A lot of people don't know me because I was away, and I've been away for like 40 years. I'd say that. And for that time, I think I've been to Sierra Leone once. So, yes, I hold my head in shame, but there's a reason for that. It's a legitimate reason. Should we go forward, please? Yeah. Is it moving now? Anyway, 120 over 80 is just what we say as an average. Yeah? But there is a situation with that. It can go up. If I saw a snake now, that's the animal that I don't like, it would go up. If it's something that I like, obviously it will be good. And again, it depends on when they measured it, how they measured it, who measured it. Yeah? There's a few factors with that. So therefore, in fact, which arm it was measured in. Were you standing? Were you sitting? All of that. I've seen somebody who comes to me and the blood pressure in my department is 250 over 110. And you say, oh my God, that's a stroke blood pressure. Yeah? The moment they step out of my department, what happens? It comes down to 120 or 80. So am I going to put these people on antihypertensives? No. This is why you don't just measure it once and you take it for granted. You need to approach this thing in a what they call holistic manner. Let's go forward. These are those words, as you can see. So, you can see, as it was said, 120 over 80. Now, by the time it gets to 130, creeps up to 140, if you measure it once and it's like that, you have to give it some time for it to settle. Yeah? And if at all it comes back similar to that, I'm not saying you are hypertensive, but it probably might need to be kept an eye on. The reason for that is it creeps up on you and you do not know you have it. As I say, until you end up with a stroke or a heart attack, kidney failure, problems with the legs, and then you're not the same person as you were. That's why it's called the silent killer. As I said, the third one is asthma. Again, a non-communicable disease. It is important for us to remember this. And WHO actually laid emphasis on that. So if the blood pressure is 90 over 60, is that normal or not? You say it's normal. Not normal. But if I'm fine and nothing is wrong with me, would you say that's normal? See, that's the thing. That's the problem with it. So if somebody had a blood pressure of 180 over 100, over 100, and it drops down to 90 over 60, there's a problem. Can you see what I'm saying? So maybe that person might be on 3 antihypertensives, 3. By the way, a professor in London found out that in the Afro-Caribbean, the black people, the chances of you responding to just one antihypertensive is practically 0. So therefore, you found most of our people do have 2, 3 tablets, and each of those do have side effects. Yeah? The question is risk versus benefit. Okay? The risk is, do you prefer not to take it because you want to be macho, you want to be good in bed, as they say, and this, that, and they say, oh, it makes you impotent? I tell you what, would you rather have a stroke than have the blood pressure managed? That's the question. I'm not putting the fear of God in you. I'm just telling you what the complications are. Yeah? So, as I said, silent killer. You might only find out about it, like I said already, if you've had a stroke or a heart attack. Yeah? Thirdly, millions have it, they don't know about it. In fact, it's a ticking time bomb. About 14 million residents in the UK do not know they are hypertensive. Can you see what I'm saying? And in the next 10, 15 years, that number is going to grow. No questions about that. And of course, there's this friend unsavory friend, diabetes, lurking about. Why? Because of a few things. One of them, our diet. Yeah? When I go to gatherings, first thing I see is what? Yeah? The appetizer is what? Akara. Yeah? What? Pap. What are you having there? Yeah? Carbs, sugar. I'm telling you the truth. And then the next thing you realize, well, the main dish. Alright? Some people have fufu, obiata, you name it. Yeah? Honestly, we laugh about it, but that's what's happening. Yeah? And then, of course, the next thing you realize, the dessert. Well, the birthday cake, the punado cake, you name it. And all of that adds up. And to top that, people say, I don't want Diet Coke, I don't want Diet Coke. Why? Because it don't taste well. Well, I tell you what, in every can that you have of that, there's 7 teaspoons of sugar. 7 in one. Do I alarm you? And we're wondering why it is we are like we are. And then the next thing is, I want for dinner, nice motuka. Yeah, I know my waka. Next thing, I go sit down on the host. Yeah. And then what? TV is playing, even something like this that I need to stand up and do. I don't do it. I say, Bobo, Titi, come here. Don't do this for me. Am I right? I think this is the practices that we do have, and that's what we are actually guilty of, and that's why this is becoming a problem. All right? So exercise and reduce the risk. Again, we talk about this, low and high. We know it's a relative understanding. You take that in context, yeah? What causes it? As I say, there's primary, this is what you need to know. If you take nothing away from this talk, there's primary hypertension, there's secondary hypertension, and there's premature hypertension, which you get diagnosed before you turn 40. That's a problem, because it could be because of the kidneys. There's a lot of things, but if you know this is happening, go to your GPs, go to your healthcare practitioner. They would actually direct you and guide you to where you need to be. No questions about that. And that would help you. This is just telling you about how the blood pressure rises from age and how it is you can look after it and take care of it and maintain it. The symptoms, well, there you go. Just look at it. Headache, do you know that? The pressure can go up and it causes headache. A lot of people who know about blood pressure will tell you that sometimes I get a headache. And those that know themselves well will tell you, my pressure is short up today. Okay? Look at that. Shortness of breath. We think it's only the people who smoke, people with asthma are the ones that get shortness of breath. No, blood pressure can do that for you as well. What about the nosebleeds? It's not just the old man or old woman who's taking warfarin or adoxaban or these blood thinners because they've had a stroke or they've had a pacemaker or something. That could be as a result of the blood pressure going up. You can be flushing. Well, it's very difficult to see in a black person, but it's there. Dizziness, of course, that's very common. Yeah? Chest pain, believe it or not, is one of those. And sometimes people think, I'm having a heart attack. Well, the blood pressure led to that. Injury to the vessels, and then that actually ended up with angina. Yeah? Visual changes, you get blurred vision. And of course, this is very interesting, blood in the urine. We talked about prostate cancer already. Yeah, blood in the urine cannot necessarily mean, like you have renal colic, like the stone in the kidney, or you have a water infection or bladder infection, but it can also mean because you have a raised blood pressure. So these are the most vulnerable organs in the body, like I said already. The head, the brain, the heart, the kidney, and of course, as you can see, lower down. Yeah, us men are worse affected. Yeah, so we need to take this seriously, because otherwise we'll end up definitely being the laughing stock, and it's not nice. I wouldn't want that to happen. All right. Yeah. Again, that just tells you. You see, all of those, the heart, the brain, the kidneys. Now, they'll treat you for it. You don't need to know about the names and types and all that. If you get to your GPs, we have them here. If you go to your doctors or even the practitioners, the nurses, they'll take you through this and they'll treat you. Again, this just tells you about the medication. But see, if you have to have anything at all from this talk, there's 8 lifestyle changes you need. Get moving. Now, the difference between 1 mile being the longest distance you ever covered is 1 step. You take the first step, and believe you me, it's no longer a mile. Yeah? You agree with that? 1 mile remains a mile, but if I take 1 step, it's not a mile anymore. Again, £1 million minus 1p, it's not £1 million, is it? It's 999,999, is it? So that's the thing. So get moving, and definitely you will get to know, I feel different after a week, therefore I can go longer. Yeah? And of course, focus on your nutrition. We talked about that already. We need to be mindful of what we eat. Yeah? 3, what? Cut the salt. Salt. And then, believe you me, it's dangerous. In my house, we do not put rice, we do not put salt in our rice. For 15 years, we've not done that. Because the worst thing you need in your life is uncooked salt. So when people go like Friday chippy tea, let's go, get that salt and vinegar, salt and chips and all that. Believe you me, you're asking for trouble. Uncooked salt, you do not need. Yeah? Right. If you have been unfortunate and you've been diagnosed with this, please, please, please be compliant with your medication. Because the blood pressure has a way of catching up with you when you least expect it. Most of the time when you're not being compliant with the medication. So take it religiously, and if you feel otherwise, they might need to actually drop that medication, or maybe lower it, or maybe take you off it completely. But it's a lifelong change you need to adapt to. Okay. Remember to be checking your blood pressure. Now, this is the dangerous bit. There's a man that came to me just before I left, and he said, I've been checking my blood pressure 5 times a day. And this man is 80. If you look at him, he looks 50. He plays golf and all that, but he keeps checking that. So I said, well, why do you do that? Because I don't want to miss it going up. You see, I see all the notes. Yeah? But that in itself, because you're anticipating it, will make it go up. So you measured it 5 times, and he came to me and said, oh, when I measured it today, it always was 110 over 70. Today, it's 180 over 110. I said, well, hang on, what were you doing? He said, oh, I was just getting anxious, and I measured it. I said, well, that's exactly what has happened. So what I'd advise you is, measure it if you can, maybe twice a day, if you can, once a day, in fact. And make sure you're doing it first thing in the morning. Because as you go on in the day, the blood pressure goes up. The best time to measure it is in the morning when you've had a good night's rest. Okay? Yes. Now, well, I don't want to say this, but yeah. People talk about BMI, but I disagree with that because the person who discovered that or founded that did not consider our own structure as the black people. However, you can tell if you used to run up the stairs, now you can't. Do so, you have to rest twice, before you get to the top and when you know you're not fit. So therefore, it's important to lose the weight. And the more you move, the more you lose the weight. It's as simple as that. There's no magic in it. Yeah? So keep the car, or walk like 5-10 minutes, and I tell you what, you'll enjoy it because you benefit from it. No questions about that. Right. The other thing, alcohol. These beverages. People don't know that there's a lot of sugar in that beer. A lot of sugar. If you don't believe me, ask the person who's, developing it or whatever, doing something to it, and he'll tell you that there's a lot of sugar in it. And it just goes to add to add. No questions about that. And the stress. We're here working 2-3 jobs. Yeah? We're sleeping 2, 3, 4 hours. Yeah? I know in the Quran, I don't want to show off again, in the Quran it says, وَجَعَلْنَا لَيْلَ لِبَاسًا. The night was created for you to rest. وَجَعَلْنَا نَهَارًا مَعَاشًا. And he said the daylight is meant or created for you to earn your living, to find your bread. So this is God talking to us. Yeah? If you have to do your night shift, that's fine. But when you come, at least try and rest. If you don't rest, all it does is it takes its toll on you. And believe me, you will not even know when the blood pressure catches up with you. And the next thing is, oops, they say this man, you don't walk, look what you also, you don't build. You know, if you go to say because you don't get heart attack, you don't get stroke. It's telling. The writing is on the wall. You need to rest. Okay? So there you go. How many of you indulge in that? I don't think there's many. Thank you so much, my sisters. This is good. Remember that. A lot more legumes. Yeah? So there you go. Avoid this. Dairy meat, pizza, yeah? Pickles, canned soups, sugar. I said that already. Packaged foods. All these ones you go and say, don't put in a microwave. Get that. Nothing beats the homemade food. There you go. Did I do it?
Dr. Kamara, thank you very much. We get one question for you.
Yes, please.
I just want to ask you, please, for the audience that are here, when they are measuring their blood pressure, these two numbers, can you please explain to people which number they should pay concentration on? The top one or the bottom one, please. It is very important.
Right. Okay. So if you were to go to the doctor and they measure the blood pressure and the top figure is 130 over 80, the doctor, or over 90, the doctor would not be very concerned. But if it goes beyond 90, that bottom bit, then they begin to keep an eye on it, and they need to probably try and bring it down to that 80 to 90 range. The reason for that is when that shoots off, it actually can cause you a lot of damage, sometimes untold at the very beginning, and later on, it becomes a problem. Now, if I'm to explain to you what causes the blood pressure, it is the force, I repeat, the force with which the blood is pumped out of the blood vessel into the body. That's what it is. So it's tensio is tension. Angio is the blood vessel. So there's a hormone, a substance in the body called angiotensin. There's 1 and 2. There's the one that is created by the kidney called renin. So one joins with the other, and the other one joins with the other, and then causes this. But the force with which the blood is pumped through the blood vessel is what causes the blood pressure. If it's too hard for it to be pushed, it would go high. Yeah? And if it's less than 90 and it causes you dizziness and fainting, then you got to be careful with that one. Again, the medication is another issue. If you're taking 3 tablets and you still cannot get the lower bit to about 80 to 90, then they will have to do all the things. But your best bet is keeping an eye on it, not by yourself, but by the practitioner, who will then monitor that and take it from there. Because it may well mean there's a kidney problem that you have not discovered, and that is what is causing that. So, the renal generated blood pressure is very difficult to treat, and that can cause malignant hypertension and can cause all sorts of things. But they would obviously monitor that. If you want to, you can talk to me one-to-one, and I'll definitely be able to expand on that. But it's not a subject you want to present in 10, 15 minutes. It's a lot more detailed than that. All right. But I'm happy to respond at any time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I know you're very tired, but just one question. So I have been a hypertensive patient for maybe 20 years plus, and I've been on the same medication. And I also take my blood pressure every morning before I go to work. And it's been stable for quite a while now, for over a month now. And I've had this discussion with my GP that it should be reviewed. And he's just refused to review it. And I get tempted not to take the medication. And if I want to be honest, I've tried a few times. I've gone for about a week and not taken any medication. And I've taken my blood pressure, and it's been stable as well. So I find it very difficult to understand why my GP refuses to review my medication. I know you're not my GP, but any advice would be helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. For starters, I don't know why the GP would. I mean, we've got an able brother who's a GP as well. He knows what I'm talking about. I wouldn't know. I don't think there's a GP who would want to refuse or decline the offer of reviewing a patient. That should not be the status quo. Should not be the mantra of anybody. The fact that you are so interested in that is laudable. It's definitely commendable. And if you're doing it religiously as you are, for me, you're the ideal patient, and therefore I'll go the extra mile to speak to you. So if you want to actually monitor that, it's good, because you can be the person who will just save the other life. Simple as that. Therefore, they should be encouraging you to come in. Yeah, that's one thing we can do. Secondly, the reason for the blood pressure, maintaining it at that level, is because it has this tendency to creep up on you. That is the problem. Unexpectedly, it creeps up. And most of the time when people come to me to the A&E department, and I tell them, hang on, did you take your medication? Oh no, I've not been taking it for like a week. When I measure it, it's 210. Over 110. Now I can't let you go home if I wasn't to, do something about it. And sometimes because you haven't taken it, it creeps up without you knowing it, and so therefore I need to bring it down. And it takes a few hours. So if you want to spend 30 minutes in the ED, you might end up spending more than that, 4 hours, 6 hours. You see what I mean? But I don't think the GP's method is appropriate. He should be seeing you, and he should be definitely highlighting this to the other patients who refuse to do what they're supposed to do. But that's a good thing. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we're going to do one more talk before we go to the mail, okay? Before we do that, there are a couple of people I want to recognize in the audience. Alaji Bar, is Alaji Bar around? Oh, yes, do you want to stand up, please? We want to recognize you. Who is the chairman of the Jagaban movement, yeah? Yes, and he's representing Amadou Jagaban Kamara, yeah? Thank you, welcome. Adeleki Kamara? Adeleki? No? Okay. Mr. Malcolm Conte? Adekali Kamara? Yeah? Can you stand up, please? Okay, Vice Chairman of the Tigray Association, yeah? Mr. Malcolm Conte? Please stand. Oh, okay. So this is the Vice Chairman of ABC UK and Northern Ireland. Thank you. So let's go to our next speaker, who is Mr. Ahmed Kamara. Going to talk about exercise medicine. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Whilst my presentation has been put up, I'd like to invite the lady over there to register with my surgery, and we can talk about your blood pressure medication. I agree entirely with what Mr. Kamara said. Thank you so much to the Well Body Group for inviting me to be one of the speakers today. What you guys are doing is commendable. May the Almighty continue to bless you. Bless us to dig deep into our pockets to support you. So my talk today is titled Exercise is Medicine. So I'm the sort of doctor that likes to give you a prescription that you do not have to collect from the pharmacy. A lot of the things that I'll touch upon has already been highlighted by the previous speakers. So, why am I speaking about this topic? And that is really because I passionately believe that the best prescription is the one that you do not have to collect from the pharmacy. I think if you can change your lifestyle, be it by what you eat, be it by your level of physical activity, the exercise that you do, you can prevent yourself from developing a lot of illnesses. You can improve the management of a lot of diseases that you may have been diagnosed with. And you can actually get yourself to a point where you can come off medication. But I also have my own personal exercise journey. You have a lot of you guys here know me, probably, 7, 10 years ago, I was probably about maybe 20, 30 kilograms heavier than I am now. Okay, there's something on NHS website called Couch to 5K. So I've been on my journey, essentially going from the couch. I wasn't really a couch potato. You know, I was always reasonably active, but I became more active. Then ran 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons. And this year I did my first marathon, full marathon, the 26.2 miles. Next slide, please.
Sorry. Is it this one?
Yeah. So, these slides are a bit busy, but don't worry about reading through all of it. I just want to highlight a few figures for us. I think that without being a medic, just from your own general understanding, you'll agree that being physically active and doing regular exercise is beneficial for our health. Agreed? Good. Well, we don't do it, right? Or we don't do enough of it. And I'm guilty of it too. It's not easy to do the right things, to avoid the salt, to avoid the akara, to get physically active. There are a few figures that I want us to hold on to, and it's not the actual figures, but it's the trend. The percentage of overweight or obese people, and we heard, Mr. Kamara said earlier, the term, the definition of obesity is debatable. But that's what we have. The percentage of overweight or obese people in the UK is about 64%. When you break it down by ethnicity, that figure is about 74, almost 75% for black people in the UK. So that's one. The number of people who report being physically active in the UK, adults that is, it's about 67%. But again, when you break it down by ethnicity, that's only 55% for black people. So we're not as physically active as other ethnicities. And my talk is not about nutrition, but we all don't have enough fiber a day, which we should be having more of instead of the akara and the large portions of fufu and obiata and jollof rice. But even with a very low number, we still do much worse than other ethnicities. You've heard from Tina earlier that if you're more physically active, that reduces your risk of breast cancer. And that's true, it reduces your risk of cancer overall by 20%, especially colon and breast cancer. But the percentage reduction is even bigger for diabetes. Being physically active regularly, as recommended by the WHO, the UK, and other major international organizations, reduces your risk of diabetes, type 2 diabetes, the one you get in, as an adult usually, and by 40%, reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease, so that's things like stroke, heart attack, hypertension by 35%, and you can see the figures there for other diseases as well. There are certain recommendations about what level of physical activity we should be doing, and there's a difference between being physically active and actually doing regular exercise. Does anyone know what the difference is? I mean, we've all been physically active today because we've come to the Well Body Group. And when we go and do our shopping, that's being physically active when we climb the stairs. And look, some activity is better than no activity at all. Okay, if you were just sat down being sedentary, sitting for long periods of time, you will have far worse health outcomes. But with exercise, is purposeful physical activity. Structured physical activity towards achieving a certain goal. So saying I'm going to walk a mile, run a mile 3 times a week. That is, purposeful physical activity towards a certain goal. There is the opposite, which is physical activity, and I don't need to go through it. If we know that physical activity is beneficial, then physical inactivity is harmful for us. But I just want to highlight a key difference here. You may run a mile or walk a mile 3 times a week. Let's say 2 people do that. But then for the rest of the time, one person sits at their desk for 8 hours a day.
Give us speed.
Whilst the other person gets up every 30 to 60 minutes or every hour to 2 hours.
Find the
to walk in. That person who breaks up their period of rest will actually have a much better health outcome.
Yeah,
so
but
it's not just doing the physical activity, but also keeping less sedentary, not sitting for too long, and actually helps to improve your health overall. And this is the sweet spot. Be physically active whilst reducing your sitting time. And this is probably what you want to take home with you today. I won't go through the slides for the children for the sake of time, but it's very similar to adults. Just only that children are expected to be much more active. They're burning more calories. They're growing. Obesity, childhood obesity, is on the rise. The number of children, teenagers, type 2 diabetes who are taking metformin, medicines that are prescribed in adulthood, is rising. So we've all got a responsibility to make a difference, not just for us, but for the children in our community. Advising, take this knowledge out of here to them, share it with other people. Not just from what I'm saying, but what other speakers are saying. But in terms of adults, what is recommended in the UK by WHO, other international organizations, that we should all, on average, try to do something like 150 minutes of physical activity of regular exercise every single week. And it doesn't have to be 150 minutes in one go. You can break it down 20 minutes to half an hour every single day. But if you're already someone who does a lot of physical activity, do more. But the more you do, the more you benefit from it. I can't quite quote things in the Quran, but something like what Mr. Muhammad was saying, Mr. Quran was saying, if you do more good, you get more back in return. It's a boomerang thing, right? The more you do, the more you benefit from physical activity. And believe me, a lot of patients who have managed, lots of other people have managed, who've been diagnosed with something like diabetes, really high blood pressure, who've taken it upon themselves to go on this journey of physical activity and improving their lifestyle radically. And now been told that you don't have diabetes anymore, or you're no longer hypertensive. We keep them monitoring.
I don't bring it together. I get it.
So does that mean your life now has to be about going to the gym all the time? No, it doesn't have to be that at all. There are, more. What I always say to patients is progress is much more important than the results that you get. Okay, if you're not doing anything right now, just starting by going around the block once, twice, 3 times a day will make a huge difference. Getting off 1 or 2 bus stops earlier than you would normally and walking that distance will make a difference. If you drive, we all drive. If you drive to the supermarket, park, quite a distance away, so that when you come out of the supermarket, you can walk a little bit longer to get to it. All of these things make a difference. But the important thing is, and that is with everything that we're learning here today. We all think that just because I've heard it, I know it. Just because I've read it somewhere, I know it. The only time that we know something is when we actually do it. So I hope that you all will take the actions that you need to take, and I wish you all the best on your journey towards becoming the master of your health.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. We talk.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ahmed, for that in-depth, precise advice and knowledge that you've shared with us today. We really appreciate that. Just to recap, let's remember about being active, our lifestyle, what we eat. Most of these things we already may have had one way or the other somewhere, but we need to please put them into practice. because every little helps in making a difference in gaining this wealth that we want to gain in our well-being, because we all know health is wealth. We've come to a point wherein it is very important, but before we do that, I think we need to incorporate some of what Dr. Ahmed is advised us on. So I'm going to ask our DJ.
This is Culmore of McKinney, the next potential mayor of McKinney City President. Thank you for that comment the forum. Back. Come on, yeah. Back. 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 Come on, yeah. 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 Back. If you need no one take me, I will give you from me. And go sell the paper now have a job. Right now,
Mr.
Thank you very much,
Mr. DJ. Thank you.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much, DJ Tenants. Then I test another doing. Ladies and gentlemen, as we settle back into our respective places and get back to what we're doing, just want to remind people that there is drinks at the bar for reasonable prices, food, varied food to eat, healthy food. There's barbecue going on as well. Also, don't forget to buy your raffle tickets. Very good prices, varying from an air conditioner or air cooler. You've got blood pressure machine. You've got, what's in this one? A barbecue pot that you can have. You've got a shipping voucher. You've also got a dinner for two, a blood pressure machine. The list goes on. You don't want to miss out. Please grab your raffle tickets. Ladies and gentlemen, can I crave your indulgence of your attention, please? Hello? Hello? Now, if it's a low exercise, but I think so. Why exercise the most now too much? So they beg to ya. Now go back to business. Please, please, please. As we settle down, I just want to recognize few people in the house. I'm proud to say we've got in our midst one of the youngest doctors in the house, Miatta Kaloko. Can you give us a wave, please? On my left, just there, Miatta Kaloko. Just give a wave. Dr. Miatta Kaloko, my apology. We've also got in the house Rugiatu Rosakano, Honorable, my apology. Give us a wave. We've also got Kadika Max, former Director of Children's Affairs. Can you give us a wave, please? Fabulous. And we've also got one of our sisters, Masie Kamara. Okay. Janet Tusoya, Jariatu. Just give us a wave, my lovely. You're welcome. She's one of us. So we're going to move swiftly to the very most important part of today's event. And we're going to ask our mayor by the name of Nima Ali. You're welcome, ma'am. And the mayor is going to officiate the program by launching the Well Body Group to you all. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Before I start, I want to greet you by Islamic greeting. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam.
It It is an honor and a pleasure to be here with you today. I'm Councillor Naima Ali, and I was elected in 2022. When I was elected, I became the first ever hijabi councillor in Sadak.
Whoa!
Honestly, my journey hasn't been easy. It is not easy, and it's not going to be easy, but I'm well prepared for that. Last year, I served as the mayor of Sadak, and I became the mayor of Sadak.
Yeah, it's fine.
I became the mayor of Sadak on 23rd of May, 2024. That is only 10 weeks from, And this is my 90th event. Every single day, Monday to Friday, I've been out of my home. And I will tell you a bit of my journey. It didn't just happen like that. 26 years out of 27 years that I've been in the country, I've been doing voluntary work. And that has contributed to my success and my achievement today. When I walked into this room, and I had this amazing, talk about blood pressure, diabetic, cancer, exercise. I never had the opportunity, to be honest. Almost 6 months, I did not sit in front of my telly to watch. Believe me that. But anyway, I'm sacrificing all my time. But when you listen to all this, we are so fortunate to be sitting here and having our NHS. However sick we are, we've got just a phone call to make, and we are there to be saved. But our country back home don't have that. If we don't take care of ourselves, our community will miss. And I will just say thank you so much for everybody who has put this together. My heart is filled with love. And I don't know, to be honest, I'm feeling so goosebumps to get this amazing thing. And I'm so proud and so honored to be launching this officially, to be here. It is the first event that I came to have the opportunity with the Sierra Leone community. And not to put any community aside, but there are so many, for example, Nigerian and Ghanaian community, but I've never, to be honest, seen even this kind of number of Nigerian Sierra Leone community. Please, the committee, they can't do it alone. If we do one little thing to our people back there, some of them, they are very, very poor. They are relying on us. With me, when I'm reaching out to the community, I've never, ever said I'm here to support the Somali community alone. Never. Everybody to me is just equal. And I think it's been a blessing. It is a blessing to be serving as the mayor where you treat everybody equally. This is the only role that wherever I go, everyone is equal to me. So, will it be the community back in Sierra Leone? I'm here to support you regardless. This year that I'm the mayor, it will be an honor to invite the committee to my mayor's parlor, and it will be good for us to have a proper chat about this. And I'm hopeful that we will have another event like this, a tourist street, where we work in partnership with your team, so that we can have a serious, more conversation about this. And thank you so much. One advice I will give you, please, let's not be the community who just come and meet when this kind of event is happening, or funeral, or weddings and that. We need to be very actively involved for the sake of people back home. Whenever we talk about blood pressure, I can assure you thousands of them are dying at this moment. Thousands of them are in hospital, not having anybody to pay their bills. I will just finalize to you telling you, with all the voluntary work that I've done, for example, it has paid off. I've been an active person working around FGM. female genital mutilation, for those who don't know. And for the first time, I was appointed as the first ambassador for FGM in SADC. That means I'm the pastor leading on FGM, the whole of SADC. On Monday to Thursday, I traveled to Vienna, Austria. I wanted to go and see what they're doing there. But when I went there, I didn't just go for that. I wanted to know what their health system is like, how their transport, because I wanted to get something to benefit our community, not only here, back home. One country in Africa becomes successful, we are all successful. One thing for us, we are all African, let's be there for each other. And like I said, I'm so proud again to be officially launching this. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. It is something that I will always cherish. Thanks again.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. Thank you for your expression of support. And also thank you for being here today. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. Now we're going to move on quickly to our next speaker. And it's a great pleasure for me to invite this is Justina Fahnbulleh to give us a talk on diabetes.
Thank you. Once again, good evening all. And as the previous speakers have said, there is no way on this planet you can give a health talk for 5 minutes. But I will try and squeeze it as much as I can. So my specialty, I'm a registered nurse, as I said earlier, and my specialty is in diabetes. What is diabetes? It is a chronic condition, which just basically telling us that part of our pancreas, which is meant to produce insulin, is either not producing insulin or not producing enough, or what it's producing is not good enough to do the job that it's meant to do. And for our body to use up glucose, and insulin is a big part of it, to give us energy for our day-to-day activities. So if we're talking about exercise, and you've got glucose impairment or not producing enough insulin, you will not be able to lift your hand up, let alone jump up and down and do any exercise. So diabetes, basically, we've got two main types which a lot of people always talk about. So we've got type 1 diabetes, which mostly there's nothing any of us can do about it. You're either born with it, or something along the line triggers something, and your pancreas stops producing the insulin, and it's gone. The only way you can treat that is by taking insulin. And this is about 4 to 5 injections a day. So just imagine your life living to take insulin to survive, or 4 to 5 injections a day just to stay alive. Because without the insulin, you'll be gone in days, if not hours. And we've got type 2 diabetes. Part of type 2 diabetes as well, you can not do anything about. It might be our genetics. Okay?
Yeah.
It might be our genetics, heredity, and now they're linking it to environmental factors and a lot of other health inequality issues. Part of it we can do something about. So there is what doctors will tell you if you're my age and above. I'm not telling you my age. You go for a yearly blood test. Doctors will tell you you have pre-diabetes. If they tell you you have pre-diabetes, it is a massive warning sign. It's time to stop, rethink, rewind, and start thinking about what direction your life is taking. So exercise, what you eat, what you drink. And I know there was a myth years ago before all these researchers come in about us, there is diabetes diet. It's basically you mind what you eat, the quantity of your food. You know, go grab na morning you eat less. Something na fufu, next na plantain and yam and whatever. You go later, they say nothing will happen. Something will go wrong. It's too much. You cannot sit in front of that telly 3 days, not leave your house for any exercise, and think things will not go wrong. Something will definitely go wrong. But when you get a doctor warning you that you've got pre-diabetes, you can't set it right, you can't put things right, and you can't reverse it. Mainly because tiredness, busy lifestyle, we don't have time to do a lot of things, so we don't have time to book appointments with the doctors. But who of we, now when you collapse, you go to hospital, they do basic blood tests, they find out, ooh, there's something involved here that got to do with diabetes we need to treat. Majority of the time, it's when the complications have set in. So there is other forms of diabetes that I'm not going to labor on. We've got gestational diabetes for young people who are still of childbearing age. That's something to keep an eye on. If you get pregnant and you go to hospital, your midwives will monitor that. And the different types, okay, the main types I'm talking about, type 1, type 2. With type 1, mainly we normally say it's the younger population from begin with and just born to whatever age, they can diagnose them of diabetes. And the same way we're treating adults, it's insulin, no other magic way. But thanks to research and everything else, finger pricks are becoming a thing of the past. Yes, we still do them, but they're amazing, amazing gadgets that you can use to monitor your glucose levels now. So don't sit back. If you have a family member or child or yourself diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, learn what your condition is. Now, now we problem. We go to hospital, doctors say you've got diabetes or you've got hypertension. We take the medication they give us. We haven't got a clue what the signs and symptoms are. We don't know what those medications do to our body. When you're not sabi wetin do you don't understand wetin do you. There is no way you can go and ask the doctors what is available for me. This is where the health inequalities come in. Because if you don't understand that I've got type 1 diabetes, I've got patients who will ring me, nice guideline just need for make drafts for say you're entitled to this. My phone should be busy. Oh, can I have a pump? Can I have this? Yes, nice, I've said it. The money hasn't come yet for it, just hold on. But we don't. What they give us, we take, we go home. So just be a bit more engaged with whatever condition you have, learn a bit more and know what is out there for you so you can take advantage of those treatments that are available to you. So it's more of younger people, their onset is rapid, your body can be of normal weight, not a high BMI, skinny person. You do have symptoms with type 1 diabetes. And we've got blood tests that they run that will show that you've got positive antibodies and they'll diagnose and treat you there and then. With type 2, much older now, but unfortunately in our Asian and Afro-Caribbean community, as people as young as teenagers are now being diagnosed of type 2 diabetes. So we need to be on the watch out for that. Okay, not say, when they say fat person, it's that person that's obese all around. Even if you think you're lean, but if this belly part, this belly area, this yes, you need to look out for that. So signs and symptoms to watch out for: running to the toilet every 5 minutes. You're feeling like I've just been and I'm going again.